The dense vegetation in the Black Hills makes for tough traveling. Luckily we found a game trail here that we can try to find our way up and out. Try to find some people and try to get out of here alive. This is where every animal obviously comes to drink from the stream. For some reason they all congregate right here because you can see this very wide path they've made. So this is where I'm going to set my traps. I'll be back in the morning to check and see if I got anything. We're on our way to the highest point in the Black Hills, right over there. As you can see, we've got a ways to go. Me and my crew are pretty tired right now. Hopefully we can make it by sundown. Wow, I can't believe we found this wonderful waterfall out here. It's such a coincidence that we happened to stumble upon it. I'm gonna have to try to get up there somehow. I may have to fashion a harness out of some sort of vines or branches and try to climb it somehow. We'll see how that turns out. This rock is very slippy. I'm having problems keeping my footing. It's very hard to stay up like this. As you can see, it's a very far drop. It's a good thing my shoes are so grippy, because this rock is very slippy. Hey, look at that. I'm a poet and I didn't even know I was one. The amazing part of the Black Hills are the abundance of flora and fauna. It's so green out here. You can make almost anything you'd like in the way of a shelter. After hiking up the first waterfall, we found an interior waterfall with multiple tiers. We're gonna have to hike that one up and try to follow the river to civilization. All right. After many hours of hiking, we finally made it to the top of that mountain. It was hard work, and we're about to make camp. This is a great spot underneath this pine tree. It'll hold in all the heat tonight with its branches. Just gotta weave in some sort of a roof over here so we can make our fire out there and keep warm. As you can see, I've made my shelter under this pine tree because its branches allow for a perfect roof, and also the pine needles keep in all the heat. So I'm gonna make myself a bed of pine needles under here to try to sleep on tonight and try to get some rest. I've got to get across this lake, but there's a wild chihuahua chasing me, so I don't have time to explain better. But it's fight or flight, and I'm choosing flight.
All right, hold on.
Idiot.
After I swam across the lake, we found some wild bovine. There's a herd of them over there, and they're running away, but we're gonna have to go catch them so we can get a meal. Fascinating. We just saw a deer up on that ridge. We're gonna see if we can't follow his tracks and use my knife and get some food. I found myself a nice stream after jumping in that lake and chasing that buck. I'm real thirsty. It looks pretty clean, it's moving water. It's a little bit better than my urine. Ah, wonderful. I'm attempting to climb up this steep outcropping and try to get up high to try to see if I can orient myself to anything. Maybe there'll be some place to set a trap or something up there to try to get some food in me. After climbing up the slippery slope and making my way up that outcropping, I found a mushroom. I wasn't successful in hunting down the wild bovine nor the deer, so we're gonna try to inspect this and see if it's poisonous or not. It's green. It doesn't look very good. Actually, it kind of reminds me of lemon meringue pie gone bad. I don't think I'm gonna want to eat that. I'll have to try to find something else. As you can see, we've come across a colony of beavers. Each one has their own hive, and the queen has the biggest hive off that way somewhere. Here in the Black Hills of South Dakota, we found a perfectly preserved Tyrannosaurus Rex. Look at it, it's so much bigger than I could have expected. If only it was still alive, I'd get a ride to civilization. I can't see anything from here. Maybe I can try to get a little higher. There's nothing. All I see are trees and hills. I've climbed for hours over many slippy rocks and steep inclines. And as you can see, there's pretty much no end. I've got many, many more slippy rocks to climb over, many, many more inclines to hike, many, many miles left of barren wasteland. It's not barren wasteland. Out in the Black Hills, there are an abundance of pine trees, and you can use the pine needles to make a softer bed and try to get some more sleep and some more rest. Also, you can gather all the pine cones and you can put them in a pot of boiling water, and it'll make some pine cone stew, which is rich in minerals and nutrients. As you can see, we found a dead, rotted log, and you can pull off the top and try to dig around and look for some grubs. As gross as they sound, they're actually rich in vitamins and nutrients. I don't see any in this one. There's a few other ones around here we'll have to try. They all seem really dry. Not much life in there. Don't see anything. We found a natural shelter amongst the rock here in the Black Hills of South Dakota. This will make a perfect rain barrier so I don't get wet. The only problem is it's a bit slanted, so I'll have to build up some pine needles on this side and try to level things out. We've spotted a wild bowman in his natural state. His mountain boot shaved hooves are perfect for climbing the mountains like this. Let's observe. He's not very good for eating. He doesn't have a lot of meat on him anyway. Although as he grows older, it seems to multiply. The bowman is a rare species, native only to South Dakota. Let's observe. He spotted us! Run! We've made our way into a deep crevasse. The only way out is to keep going. Now, in times of flood, thousands of gallons of water get rushed through here and carry debris like this down through the crevasse. So we're gonna have to keep moving forward to get out and to try to find some sort of road, a house or something. I found the perfect stick for making a slingshot. It's very strong, it's birch, and I'm going to use it to try to protect myself from the wild bowman in case he charges again. I barely made it out last time. I'm going to use the elastic from my underwear as the device to pull it back, and I'm going to use a piece of quartz because it's well known to be the sharpest rock in the Badlands to pull it back and shoot him. I've come across some unique vegetation. It's very tall. It's going to make navigation very hard. It seems to be growing in some sort of rows, almost like somebody planted it here. It's very odd. I'm going to have to try to cross this clearing and try to find some sort of road and try to get back to civilization. Oh, I've come across the road. I've been able to hear the cars for about the past hour. Maybe I can try to hike my way back to civilization. See if somebody can pick me up or something into the nearest town and get out of here. Saved by some kind travelers. It's the Royal Rangers from St. Charles First Assembly of God. I didn't know there was an Assembly of Gods. I thought there was only one. Signing off, this is Beaver-Grylls. I'll see you next time on Beaver vs. Wild.